I also have a lot of projects that I want to do, and I'm working on, and I actually don't feel like I work hard, I don't think I work hard enough, you know? Like
Okay.
I always feel like, well, I know, I'm being honest with myself. I
Mm,
don't work hard enough,
mm,
and so I don't I don't even say when the time is right, or I just know it's either, if it's not getting done, it's not because I didn't have time to do it. It's because I just didn't do it.
okay,
And
so when are you gonna, what are you waiting to change that? Like if you are aware of that, how you can
well,
continue?
I mean, I try to I try to every day I try to wake up and say I'm going to do it differently today. That's like the first thing.
Okay.
And I fail a lot of times at doing it differently, but um, at least I'm aware of it and I try. And that's not to say that I don't get things done, but I don't get as much done as I would like to do. And so I take too many naps. I like, I can be very spontaneous at times, where someone can call me and then get me to go do something, or I'll watch some TV show or something, and I'll spend too much time with this, and like, so all those kinds of things. Um, and I'm aware of those things, and I just always try to make efforts to not do it once I've become aware of it in the moment. And sometimes I just don't feel inspired as well, but I do know that when I don't feel inspired, these are the times I can actually work on the things that don't require inspiration. They're just more things that need to be done.
Mm.
So um, it's an ongoing process. It's not something that I've mastered yet. Um, so I'm just working on it.
What I found to be more like uh, if productive in in a certain way, is not to ask like why, like I was before I had like really like anxiety that was frozen, make me like paralyze me,
Uh,
and I was let like thinking about that, like why do I feel like that?
mm,
Why is that paralyzing me?
mm,
And instead of asking that, now I do just things that brings me movement,
mm,
and once you're moving,
mm,
you do more.
mm,
So by starting little thing,
mm.
uh, and thing that you like to do,
Yeah,
it brings you the energy and the motivation and the inspiration to do more,
yeah,
and
yeah.
to follow the more bigger project
Mm,
you wanted to achieve.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
uh, I try to, when I paint, I feel so good, and I know it's that brings me so much energy,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, why do I wait all the time, the end of the day, to do
Right, right, right.
I should start my day with that. And now that's what I try to to put a new path in my life,
Mm-hmm.
uh, to in my routine, in my daily routine, to bring that in the priority, because I know that's good for me. But in the system we live on, we have so much obligations,
Mm-hmm.
and I know I'm like conditioned to do the thing I like at the end, but what
Mm.
I know that shouldn't be like that.
Right, 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 right. Yeah.
So it's also a way you have like to train your mind, because your mind is following what he used to do, even if it's wrong for
Mm-hmm.
it. So when you're aware of it, you can just train it in another sense. but not by finding like why he's doing that. No, just by doing the other way you
Yeah,
want to
I
do.
definitely, I actually completely agree with you. Like, I do believe sometimes the why is not important. The
Mm.
reasoning is not necessarily important. It's just a matter of, um, yeah, as you said, like doing things differently. And then this is why I don't really, I don't really sit there and say, "Oh, Hollis, why are you being so lazy?" or something like this. It's just it's more like, Hollis, okay, get up and do something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and um, to me, this is much, because the why could be any number of things, and even knowing why isn't really going to necessarily be helpful in every case.
And to be rude with yourself either,
Yeah. Yeah.
if when you say, oh, I'm not doing enough, that's not gonna make you make more.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I
Well,
let me say that to you, it's
but you know what?
you do more when you cheer yourself.
But you know
When
what
you
though?
cheer yourself.
I don't feel, when I say I'm not doing enough, I don't feel bad about it.
Okay,
I'm being aware. Like,
okay,
I'm being
okay.
aware. Like, when I look at other successful people
Mhm,
and I see what they do,
mhm,
then I can look and say, this is what they're doing and this is what I'm doing, and I can see there is a difference. And
mhm.
so if I say, okay, it's good being here, but if you want to be here, then you have to do what the people that are there are
Yeah,
doing.
yeah. So you just do more day to day. You do more and more, and I think we don't have to. It's not necessary to have statement for things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's certain way of thinking that we have,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not bringing good things to us. So
Mm-hmm.
that kind of reasoning,
Mm-hmm.
like of reflection,
Mm-hmm.
it's a thing, but it's like it's the ego that is telling you, hey, like, see, he's doing more than you.
Mm-hmm.
But I like everybody has their rhythm,
Mm-hmm.
and if you just follow your essence and you follow like what your guts, and if you have to take some naps
Mm-hmm.
because you need to take it, like if you act genuinely, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
in a genuine way, and if you're truth with yourself,
Mm-hmm.
that's the important thing,
Well,
when you when you did your best.
well, this is what I'm saying. I am honest with myself
uh
enough to say when I haven't done my best.
okay,
That's what I mean. And I'm not, when I say that I haven't done my best or I'm not doing enough, I'm not saying it in a way that I feel bad about it. It's
okay.
simply just stating a fact.
Mm,
I don't have to, like, I think I mean I think when I was trying to explain this to someone else, um because, like, sometimes when we are critical of ourselves, sometimes we get caught up in the criticism and feel like we're beating ourselves down. But I think you can look at it the way, like, a sports team is, right? They
mm-hmm,
may play a game and then they lose the game. And then they look back at the game and they say, okay, this is what we did wrong.
mm-hmm.
And then so they go and say, okay, here we should have did this
Yeah,
when
they
we did
changed the
this.
strategy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so if you can look back on, like, this is what I try to do. I look back on my things that I would like to improve upon, like my output and productivity, and I say, okay, this is what you did today. You slept this many hours, and you know you watch too much TV, or you were online too long, or
Mm.
something like that. And then that's when you can kind of start saying, okay, um, maybe I should actively limit the, how much I watch, or um, or maybe eat less food. If I eat, sometimes I eat a lot of food, for instance, and then I get sleepy after I eat the food. So then it's say, okay, you got to eat less food so that you don't get sleepy, so you can go back to work. And
or
mhm,
you can like look at, okay, where at that moment I may spoke too much with that friend online.
mhm,
Okay, so maybe I was in needed to exchange,
mhm,
maybe I was in needed to express myself,
mhm,
maybe like what do we talk about it. So maybe if you take care of what that conversation was about,
mhm,
and you just like include the the essence of that happening in your work for the next day. Okay, maybe if I add that dimension to my project, I will do it more. I will be more motivated, and I will work more on it.
mhm,
You know,
mhm,
because it was a need for you.
mhm,
So you just have to adapt yourself. If you feel asleep, maybe it's not because you eat it too much, maybe just because you eat it the wrong calories, you
mhm,
know.
mhm.
It's just, or maybe you have to change your schedule,
Yeah.
a different place, a different yeah.
This
But
is.
when you have to adjust yourself, it's
Mhm,
maybe just to make like small change in the way you work,
mhm,
and
mhm.
in the intention of the work too.
Okay. Okay.
No, maybe
Yeah, that's possible.
because your body responds to what it need.
Mhm, mhm.
So when you speak to a friend, it's because you need to be with.
Yeah, I don't know about that though. Because I think there are definitely times when I know for sure I do things that I shouldn't, like, if if I go online, if on Netflix or something,
Hmm.
I don't necessarily have to watch the whole season in one time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Which is what I have done plenty of
yeah,
times.
yeah. I know, I understand,
So this
but
is this.
that it's addiction, and addiction, it's an answer to a need, a need of to calm the certain pain, to calm anxiety, to escape from something, you
Mhm.
know. So
Well,
if
okay.
you
Well,
if you
I
face
mean,
it,
I feel like, okay. So if you're being very affirmative, like you're being very positive now, but obviously there are times when you're just doing the wrong thing.
I don't believe in that.
No.